is obviously going to be very thick, and this fairway releases towards the water. Once in the fairway, now you're hitting to a blind green protected by bunkers. It's very accessible, and I think we're going to see a lot of birdies here come U.S. Open. I'm Michael Breed, so excited for the 119th playing of the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. I'm going to take you through all 18 holes, give you some insights into what the players are going to face, and make it a little bit more enjoyable for you to watch the U.S. Open. This green is kind of pitching almost the way the 17th hole at Pebble Beach is pitched. There's obviously no water on the left-hand side, but you can see it almost looks like a shoe print. As you go there, you can see the heel right there. That's where the hole location is, and it's going back on an angle, about a 45-degree angle. What does that mean? Well, it means that that's almost like having two separate greens. I can get a shot that's pin high to this front right portion of the green, but if I don't hit it at the flag, now I'm going to get into that bunker, and I've got a very difficult bunker shot. I'm expecting to see some really good scores here. I think there will be some birdies, but I also think you might see a few double bogeys. Now, I'm going to give this a shot. I got this thing at playing, what are we playing today? 198. So it's just a little bit under that 200 yard. Got to hit this solidly. Oh, yeah. Very solid shot there. Is it going to catch the green? Just kicks off the edge. Settle down. Okay, a good shot for me, one that I'm very happy with, and I know the players will be happy to find the floor here, find the dance floor, give themselves a birdie opportunity. It's going to be a wonderful hole to watch. Welcome to a new breed of golf live. So excited to be able to talk with you. Yeah, I know. Don't be jealous because of the hat, okay? I got one. Gibbsy, we didn't get you a hat. We got to get you a hat. Show a quick shot of Gregory with his Santa hat. There you go. But Gibbsy doesn't have one. We're going to have to make sure, Greg, you're going to have to take a little break and run out there and get a hat for Gibbsy, okay?
Okay.
Can't believe we forgot that. Anyway, so excited to be able to have a little fun with you today on a Friday afternoon and be able to talk to you about the discovery of direction in the Better by Spring. We are going to help you improve by spring. We're going to use what we call the off season and turn it into the on season. Before we get to all that, though, Greg, we got to talk to some people about what are the options, the opportunities that we have. We always tell you every single week that we've got these blessed poker chip ball markers. This is a great gift. They're only $6. That includes shipping and handling, or the elf Greg working at it. But if you want to give a really nice gift, these poker chip ball markers, they're fun, they're easy, they're thoughtful, and they got tons of birdies and pars in them. So make sure you get that. Also, too, we've got some stuff going on with Pinned Golf right here. The Pinned Rangefinder, we've got a discount code going on with that. Greg's going to tell you all about that in a second, but look at all those options. 6 different colors. You don't have to worry about getting a battery anymore. This Pinned Rangefinder, it's got a USB. You just plug it right in there. 65 rounds is what this charge will carry you. Most of you aren't playing 65 rounds in a year. Well, that means you only got to charge this thing once, but you're going to do more than that because you're a smart person and you don't want to have this die on you when you're on the golf course. But you got your choices of whatever color. I'm going with red because ho, ho, ho. It's Santa Breed time. And we've got a nice little gift. What have we got going on here with Pinned Rangefinders?
If you click in the link in the description below, that discount is automatically going to get applied to your purchase. You can see all the colors. Maybe you get a red, maybe you get a green too, and you can really have a Christmas
time. That's exactly right. So we have that opportunity for you as well. Now, the other thing is, Gibbsy, if you can show this putting mat that I'm on here, the Big Moss putting mat. I spent a lot of time developing this, and we're going to talk about how you can improve in the on season, which we're calling the on season. It's really the off season, but the on season with this putting mat, and use this as the example to better. So when we talk about this, we got to talk about, you need to get one of these things. This is the best putting surface it rolls at about a 12 or 13. So this is pure and this is fast. We also have done some things with the cups, which I'll explain to you. But for the discount opportunity that exists with Big Moss, let's throw it back over to Gregory. And Gregory, let us know what's going on with the discount that we've got here.
Yeah, again, that link is also in the description below. And when you go to bigmoss.com, you enter code BREED15 and you get 15% off the Let's Do This mat, which Michael will explain today. You can also comment and say Big Moss putting mat in the comments here, and one lucky winner is going to win a free Big Moss putting green. This Let's Do This one that Michael will be using today.
So we're going to give away a Big Moss putting green, the Let's Do This mat. The value of this thing is about $250. $250, giving it away to you. For those of you that don't get the gift, we're giving the gift of 15% off. So you're going to be able to save some money, work on your game, practice the putting, and when spring shows up, you're going to be making everything you look at. I'm telling you, it's fantastic, and I'll go through all this with you. And finally, we've got a very special thing that we're offering from V1, another one of our partners, and we love being able to bring this stuff to you. Greg, with the offer that we have for V1, we're giving stuff away. What do you got?
Link for this one also in the description, or you can scan the QR code right on the screen here. And for that, you can get all the premium tools Michael uses in his with the V1 Golf app, and you get those for 7 days for free. You get a free trial period, total access to the V1 Golf app.
And I can tell you, and I'm going to show you how I use the V1 stuff as we look at this area of improvement. And by the way, Gibbsy, if you can back out and show a 2 here, we have a lot of stuff. I've got all kinds of things I put together. This is going to be a great learning opportunity for you as you discover the direction to better by spring. I'm going to use putting as the opportunity. So a lot of different things we got going on. It is the time of year where Santa Breed and Elf Greg, we start giving away a bunch of stuff, and we will be giving away a bunch of stuff. Make sure you follow us over on all the social media channels. I just go by Michael Breed. So if you get on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, whatever, just go Michael Breed. You'll find me there. And also, too, by the way, go make sure you listen to us on A New Breed of Golf on the Sirius XM channels. I'm telling you, PGA Tour, phenomenal stuff. Now, the Hero World Challenge is going on today, so we'll make sure that we keep you up to date as to what's taking place with that. And before we get into what I've got planned for you today, I want to send it back over so that we can introduce the team that's behind the scenes. Greg Ducharme, you obviously met him, Elf Greg, and Steve Gibbs, who does not have his hat yet, but he will have a hat in the next 10 minutes because he is an elf as well. We're all kind of here doing what we can to help you play better golf, have a little fun. I hope you're smiling. I hope you're getting a little chuckle out of what we're doing. Now, in order for you to discover the direction to better by spring, you have to do a couple of things first. We talk about getting the journal. We talk about writing and reading and applying, all that stuff we talked about this morning. But there's also a really important part of this, and that is figuring out what your inhibitor is. What is the thing that's preventing you from improving? And then once you know what the inhibitor is, and you're just going to break this all down. So this is going to be, there's mental and physical to everything. So we'll talk about putting. Is putting an inhibitor? And what is it with putting? Is it speed control? Is it start line? Is it impact points? What is it? Is it your mental status when you're standing over a putt? Hey, how am I thinking? Am I thinking I should make this? Should I not make this? Right? Is my equipment any good? Is my technique flawed? What is happening? Well, you have to break it all down, and then you have to discover exactly the thing that you're going to work on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use putting as an example, and not just because we're giving away a Let's Do This mat, but because this is the thing of all the things that go on in your effort to better. When you get into the on season, what happens is you don't get a chance to get outside. And so you think, well, you come up with excuses. I can't work on my game. I can't practice my short. You can practice putting. So the way you do it is you get yourself one of these Let's Do This mats, or any of the mats that Big Moss offers. You get yourself a mat like this, and then what will end up happening is you work on some of the techniques that exist within this, and the next thing you know, you're going to start making more solid putts and doing the things that you need to do to stand over this with confidence. So there's a couple of things that we talk about when we look at this. What's the equipment like? Have you gotten fit for your putter? And I'm just using the putter. Have you gotten fit for your wedges? Have you gotten fit for your driver? Those are all things that are really important, because in order for you to be able to, like, there are many of you that say, you know what, I drive the ball really good. My iron play is great, but my hybrid, my hybrids don't, did you get fit for it? Do you know that that's the right club for you? We had a phone call in between the radio show and this show from an individual who we teach who's playing better golf. And he says he went to go get fit. And the individual wanted to try to put him into a heavier shafted club. Well, why do I need to go into a heavier shafted club? And so he calls up and says, hey, what is the advantage? What's the disadvantage? And we start talking about, well, here's what you can do. Here's what you can't do. Here's what you're going to start to see with a heavier shafted club. So here are things that are really going to be something that you need to overcome and understand. Equipment's a big part of it. Golf ball's a big part of it. We talk about on the show, on the radio show, we talked about, you know, if I hit a golf ball, if I hit a golf ball and a baseball and a basketball, those three balls are very different in their size and in their weight, which means that the speed that I have to move the putter at and how I have to impact that ball varies dramatically in order for those golf ball or all those balls, the golf ball, baseball, and basketball, to travel the same distance. And so what you need to appreciate is when we talk about equipment, we're talking about all of the equipment. And in all of the equipment, we're talking about what you are hitting, what golf ball you're hitting, the putter that you have in your hand, the grip that's on that, the shaft that's in that, the shoes on all this stuff is all a part of this. And I know we've said this to you many, many times. And I know it sounds like, man, really? Yes, really. All of it matters. Only everything matters. And you have to be able to break that down. Okay. We also talk about the mindset that you have. And the mindset, is it an expectation? Because you all have expectations. Expectation of make, expectation of miss, expectation of short, expectation of long. The number of times that I've given a golf lesson says, oh, you know what, I have this little chip that I hit, and I always feel like I'm going to hit it too short, and I always hit it way, way by. Well, that's an expectation. You expect to hit a bad shot, and then you do. You expect to hit it short, and then you hit it long because you don't want to hit it short. What I want you to do is I want you to get your expectation of outcome to be positive. But maybe that's one of the things that you need to do as you're evaluating the inhibitor. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to talk about what we're doing with this putting thing. And we've set up another camera, just so you know. We've got this. Let's go to the incoming camera. That's right. So this is an incoming camera, and you can see a lot of what we have on the ground here. Oh, Gibbsy got us. Hold on a second, Gibbsy. You got to go over to, you got to show everybody your Santa hat. You got to go back over to the 8 here. There it is. Look at that hat. We are ready to go. It's a little darker because we try to, you know, he's like Rudolph. We got to take Rudolph, and we got to keep Rudolph where Rudolph needs to be. So we don't let him out of the cage. Anyway. So we set up another camera so you can capture some incoming, which is really, really fun. There's the incoming. We also have the ability, if you hit that 10 there on that, it'll go immediately to a close-up right there. That's terrific. And then the other thing that we've done for you, just so that you know this, and I'm going to pull this up. This right here, this is what's actually happening from my worm cam. So there's the worm cam right there. So when I hit this putt, you'll be able to see this ball leave. We can capture it going into the hole just the way that it did there. So we have all kinds of different things, and I'm going to show you how I use the V1. But I'm going to minimize this before we do that, because I don't want you to have to look at that. Now, I want to tell you what I've done here with this. Let's do this mat. If you go, you could see this yellow string that I have on this mat. Now, one of the reasons why I have the yellow string there is it allows me to be able to see when I'm going down the line, is this ball starting on the line that I want it to start on? And then is this staying on the line that I want it to start on? So I pulled that a tad bit. My club face was a little bit shut, but it still went in because it was pretty close. The reason why I chose yellow on this was specific. The best after image color for you is yellow. And when I say after image, what I'm talking about is if you look at the sun and then you look away, you're going to see a big dark green dot. That's after image. Well, after image is going to happen when you start looking at things that are yellow. Orange is another great color. But if you have this yellow line and you're looking down there, when you look away, you will see a dark green line that will appear in your mind's eye. You can train yourself to see that. I know it sounds strange, but you can train yourself to see it. And then what I also have, if you get that close-up shot, maybe on a camera 5, bring that down there. What you're going to see is, great. So what you can see is that I have set up, and I'll move this over to here. I've set up some clips. These are tees that are on here. So this is 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet right there. So on my Let's Do This mat, I can putt up to, if I wanted to, I can putt up to 9 feet, but I don't do that. I putt up to 8 feet. All of our studies show that basically from 4 feet to 8 feet, that's really the area. If you get better in that area, you're going to make a lot more putts. You're going to avoid 3 putting. You're going to take advantage of getting it up and down. The majority of times when you hit your little pitches around the green, you're going to be hitting it into that 4 foot, 8 foot area. And the other thing is that nobody's giving you a 4 foot putt or outside of that. You might get, like, you might hit one in here to 3 feet and someone says to you, pick it up. You might never hit any of these 3 foot putts. If you're a tournament player, you absolutely will. But if you're a weekend warrior, there's a lot of times that, hey, pick that up. But when you're standing at 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet, you're putting them. And so you need to develop the confidence and the trust in this. And this is a vital area to improve. Okay. Let me get some of these golf balls out of here. And what we've done, again, I don't know whether you could go to that shot in the down the line. Yeah, there you go. So what we have is we have 3 different hole sizes here, or not 3 different hole sizes, but 3 different holes. These 2 here are 4 1/4 inches. And this one here is a couple of inches, just a small hole for you, which is very valuable. I'm going to show you some of the things that I do with this mat and why this is important. So let's talk about putting. What are some of the things that you struggle with putting? Face control is a big deal. Alignment is a big deal. The speed of the putter head is an enormous deal. So when you start thinking about an ability to strike the ball solidly, you have to hit it in the same spot, but you also have to have similar putter head speed. And so the impact point has to be similar on the putter face. It has to be similar from putt to putt to putt on the golf ball, and the speed of the putter head, not the length of the stroke. Don't get lost in the length of the stroke. Get lost in the speed of the putter head. Because if I stand here with a short stroke and I go and accelerate through, I can hit that ball down the line and it can go into the hole. And with a much longer stroke here, I can still get it to go into the hole. How? Because those speeds of putter heads were very similar despite the length of the stroke. And the putter face was basically similar, the same, because both of those golf balls went into the hole. When you start getting to 10 feet, that's when the face control has to become absolutely perfect. In other words, if I'm at 5 feet and my putter face is 1 degree open or 1 degree closed, I'll still make the putt. When I get to 12 feet, if my putter face is 1 degree open or 1 degree closed, I won't make the putt. So when you start thinking about this, you can have some errancy in the putter face, but you can't have more than a degree. To me, you keep this thing at a degree or less, you're going to be a great putter. And that will also help you with controlling the impact point, which helps control the speed of the golf ball. Of course, the speed of the putter head, and the impact point helps control the speed of the golf ball as well. Now, so here's what I like to do with this. First, I like to assume, because I know me, I like to assume my putter is perfect for me. I've got it set up. I know exactly what type of putter I need to use, how I can line it up properly, but it doesn't mean that you don't miss your alignment. Missing alignments is the greatest reason why people miss putts. They're just lined up incorrectly. And maybe that incorrect alignment is, well, I think I'm aiming over here, but I'm not. And it could be, well, I am aiming over there, but I can't read the green. But missing the alignment, big reason why you're missing putts. So what I like to do is I like to use this line so that when I set up to it, I put my putter head. You're going to want to go close up in on this one, Gibbsy. So when I put my putter head underneath that string, Gibbsy, I need a close up on this one here. So maybe go to, go down the line. Let's go down the line and hit 10. And then when you hit the 10, it'll zoom right into the golf. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So now what happens is when I take that putter and I put it underneath there, now all of a sudden I look down, I know that putter is aimed properly. So all I got to do is bring that putter back to the golf ball in that same position, and the ball will go down the line. Okay. Now let's bring it down there again, but don't go close into it. Okay. So let's go back down. That's perfect. Now, if I take the putter and I aim it like this, which you can see is way to the right now, and I make a good stroke, but the face is open, that's going to jump out to the push side. And the same thing is true if my putter face is like this. And many of you do this. And the putter face is closed. I make a nice stroke, and that thing jumps off to the left-hand side. Doesn't even touch the hole from 5 feet. What you have to appreciate is your ability to aim the putter. And I think of all the things in putter fitting, that's the most important. Your ability to aim the putter. And there are things that go on in one's ability to aim the putter. They include the length of this line. So if you take 5 and close in on me here, so we'll give Gibbsy a little time to take number 5 and just bring it right on in there. Yeah, you can see that line right there. Perfect. This is great. Now, what you can see is that I have 2 lines on this putter. On my Scotty Cameron, I got a line that's right here. You see that line? And then I have this line right here. So this forms a T. What I have found out, now you can back out to 2 again. What I have found out is, for me, in order for me to aim properly, I need a T. It's a big deal. And that T needs to be white, by the way, for me. If I have an alternative color, blue, green, black, red, I can't aim it. White is the one that I see best. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So what I do is I take my putter and I take the T and I put the T at where I want to go. And then I come through and I have the T aiming at where I want it to go. And the ball pretty much goes where I want it to go. So when you get fit for your putter, what I would tell you to do is, and this is true for everything. Again, we're just using putting as an opportunity to talk about this direction to better. Okay. When I work with people, when I work with myself, the equipment is essential. You can't play golf without it. You need it. And so you might as well get fit for it. And so I know, for me, I need a certain length in the shaft, a certain lie angle, and I need that tee. And when I have all that, now all of a sudden when I get in here, I know that I'm aimed where I want it to go. And now the question is, can I hit this ball where I want it to go? And the answer is, yeah, I did that. It happened again. Well, it's not magical. It's not mystical. It's just understanding that in order for me to aim my putter, both when it's still and when it's in motion, I need a tee. So that's what I do. Now with this yellow string, there are times where my alignment gets out. I get in here and I work on it. And what I'll do is I'll move the ball. I set the putter to the hole, and then I look up. Is my putter, like the line, the back part of that line, is that matched up to that yellow string? Okay, yeah. If I'm here, I can see I'm closed. So if I come in there and I set it closed just a fraction, so I'm just a fraction closed here, and I come through this with a good stroke, that will jump and miss to the left. I can't tell you how important this is, but it is in my list. It is, if you aim poorly, you must stroke poorly. If you can't aim the club when you're swinging, you got to swing poorly to make it work. If you can't control the club face being open or closed, you have to swing poorly to make that work. So you have to pay attention to alignment. It's one of the things that I think is paramount. Okay. So what I do is I start first working with my putter head underneath the string without a ball, and then I put a ball in there. And many times what I'll do, I won't hit the ball. I just literally work on, okay, does that feel like I'm set up properly? Yes. Okay, good. And now I'm going to stroke. I'm not watching the putter head. There will be a time here in a second, I'm going to explain it to you, but I don't watch it when I'm working on my stroke. Now, if I am noticing that my putter is not making the ball go into the hole, then I go, okay, well, why? Well, I know when I look at it, when it's not in motion, it looks fine. So now in motion, there's a problem. So where's the problem happening? That's when I start to watch the putter head, and only when I'm practicing. Never when I'm playing do I watch the putter head. So what I'll do is I'll set up here and I'll watch the putter head. Oh, you know what? That putter head came way inside. Now, I did a pretty good job of getting the face a little square, but because the putter came inside there, my path is going in to out. I started that to the push side. So now I'm like, okay. So my putter path is creating a little bit of a problem. So what I might do is either stand under this string and make some practice strokes this way. What I might do is I might take a block of wood, bring this block of wood into here, set it like this, put the toe of my putter on the wood, and make some strokes. Now, that's one of the things that I'll do. Let me show you another drill that I'll do with this. I set the putter. Let's just see. I don't want to move that tee, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it under here like this. And now I'm going to put actually, I'm going to do it up here. So this block of wood will go here. I set it under there. Bring it back. Now I'm the right distance. Now I start working on my stroke. So when I take this ball, put it in there under the string, and I go like this, the only way that I can miss that putt is to open the face, because I know, see, face and path are the things that control the ball. And if I have the path all taken care of, putting it on that block of wood, it can only go straight back, straight through. And this is just a 4-foot putt. It can only go straight back, straight through. Now I know the only way I can miss this is if my face is open or closed to that path, right? So put it under here again. Toe goes on the block of wood. Stroke. It hits the golf balls that are filling the hole there. So that's good. And that's an easy thing for you to do. What I would do is I would buy a 2x4. This is a 2x4, and it's not 1.5 feet. I would get 1.5 feet. I have it short because I'm making these shorter putts. Now, if you're one of those people that feels like your putting stroke is too long, let's say you got a lesson from somebody and they said, well, the putting stroke that you have is too long, I'd get a shorter block of wood. Or when you put it down here and Gibbsy, let's use that camera 4 close up. In fact, I'm going to do this way. So what you could see is that the putter head is about in the middle of that wood. If I want to get shorter, I'll move the putter farther back into this wood so that it forces me to stop short and accelerate through. If I'm one of those individuals that I want to lengthen my stroke, then I'm going to make sure that I'll put the putter head very far forward on that wood and try to feel like I'm touching all of that wood in the backswing. And so that's a way to teach yourself how to lengthen or shorten a stroke, is by simply putting the ball in here. And in a face-on view, you can see that if I'm forward on that wood, look at where the shaft is. You can see the shaft, how it's well forward on that block of wood. If I'm trying to shorten my backstroke, now I go back here, and then I'll get a short backswing and an accelerated follow through. And that's how I'm using that wood. Now, again, what I'm working on there is all technique now. So we start with equipment, getting fit for the club, then we jump to technique, and we get through the technical aspect of it. And then what we start to do is we start to now move into comfort zones. What ends up happening with different drills. And I'm going to show you a couple drills here in a second, and then we're going to get to some of your questions. I know there's a lot of information that's coming out of here. I also, too, want to show you one of the things that I do with the V1 when it comes to this. But what I like to do is this. I like to have a little drill and see how good I am. So I hit a 5-foot putt, I hit a 6-foot putt, I hit a 7-foot putt, and then I hit an 8-foot putt. So I go back. Now, I find out that With my 5-foot, 6-footers, I'm pretty good. My 7-footers, 8-footers are not very good. What do? I practice that. I spend a lot of time standing over the 7-footer and go, okay, my control over my putter face must be letting me down. Maybe my visualization is letting me down. What I'm seeing, maybe the precision, the freedom or the fluidity of what's going on with my putting stroke. Maybe that's preventing me from being able to trust what's going on. So now I need to spend more time with this string, because that string is going to help me get set up properly. It's also going to give me a little bit of direction with what I'm doing with the putting stroke. And so that's how we're using that. And then what I like to do is I like to have this game. So I go 5 feet, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when I get over here, I'm now finished. Now I have no string, nothing. I'm going across my mat and I hit this putt. And then what I do is I go up to 4 feet right here. And now I'm going to this 2-inch hole. And now what I'm doing is I'm working hard on making sure my alignment is correct. And then I'm going to hit my stroke. So that one there, pretty good putt, doesn't go in. So now do it again. Okay, so that was good. Now what I like to do is I like to see if I can do all 6 putts in a row. So 5, 6, 7, 8 across, and then 4. And then what I like to do is I like to see how many laps I can get. Can I get 3 laps? Can I make all 6 putts 3 times in a row? And then we have records. Wow, I got a record. I did 6 laps. Best yet. Have games, have fun. Okay. All right. Now, I know we got some questions. We got some questions, don't we, Gregory?
We do.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to get to the questions just yet because I want to show you some of the things that I use the V1 stuff for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the camera. So right there, what you can see is the X that I have on that golf ball. Now, what I like to do is I know this is confusing, but I want you to work with me on this, okay? And again, if you are confused, just send a question to Greg. Controlling the face is both vertical and horizontal. So I have to be able to control it left and right, but I also have to be able to control it where I'm adding loft or losing loft. I need to be consistent in that. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I check my horizontal club face control. Vertical club face control is right here. We saw that. It goes in, it doesn't go in. But the horizontal stuff, it's very difficult for you to see it. And that's why the V1 app is such an important thing for you and why it's such a valuable tool for me, particularly when I'm teaching so many people. I want to be able to show them what's going on. In fact, we had a guy, Gary, who called into the show, and then I got into a conversation with him on Twitter, and then I actually made a phone call with him, and then I FaceTimed him because I wanted him to understand what is happening with the impact points on the golf ball and how it can affect the golf ball in its launch away from strike. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to videotape the putter leaning backwards, record it, and let's see what happens to the golf ball. Okay. So here goes the record. Putter is under here. Now I'm giving this loft. So the ball went into the hole. So I controlled the putter face in a vertical fashion. Well, actually, the launch in a left to right. I got that. Now, how do I do what I'm doing? I got it backwards, horizontally and vertically. Yeah, I got it. See, this is golf pro stuff here with a hat. So I've got that figured out. I had the face square to my target, but I had more loft on the face. What did that do to the golf ball? So here comes the putter coming into the strike. So there's impact right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line on that ball there. Now we go. And what you can see is is that golf ball is off the ground and it's rotated backwards. In fact, that had about a 15 or 16 degree rotation. It was at zero. At impact, that's zero. And then when we get to, well, let's do it this way. Let's draw it here because this is even more. That's 20 degrees. So that ball rotated 20 degrees backwards. I made the putt, but it was 20 degrees backwards. What is that going to do? Well, what it's going to do is when that ball lands on the ground, the friction value, which is going to be occurring on the front edge of the golf ball and the grass, the friction value goes up because the ball is spinning in the opposite direction of where it's traveling. It's going that way, but it's spinning that way. Friction value goes that way. And when that happens, now it steals distance from me. So maybe you're one of those people that says, you know what, I'm a good putter from 5, 4, 3 feet. But when I get out to 30 feet, 25 feet, my speed control is awful. Well, now you know that your face control in that vertical fashion, not horizontally, vertical fashion, when that starts to happen, now you start to realize I'm putting a cut spin and underspin on the golf ball that's putting brakes on my golf ball that's making it come up short of where I want it to go. And then what you do is you say, wow, that's the grain. The grain is the reason why that ball's not going the distance that I want it to go. Or maybe one of your friends says that. But here's what happens. This golf ball now is up in the air. Now, right now, it's going to land. And when it lands, it's going to go boom. Friction value goes up. So it's a braking mechanism. This brakes. And then it starts to tumble. You see it right there, twist and go the opposite direction. Well, it also, as it does that, it bounced right there. And then it's going to bounce again. And when it's bouncing, what ends up happening is it's delaying true roll. True roll is when that golf ball is rolling. So the entire circumference of the golf ball is covering like 5 and change inches, which is the circumference of the golf ball. And so true roll is when it's traveling a full rotation in that 5 and whatever inches. What ends up happening is this golf ball spun backwards, then hit and bounced, and now it's up into the air. Well, it's not rolling the way it should roll. It's just spinning forward because it's not on the ground. And so it's covering distance in the air, but it's not roll. It's a longer period of time before you reach pure roll or true roll. And that also then delays or adds to friction. And so all you're getting is you're getting a brake. It's like driving with somebody that pumps the brakes. They pump the brakes and then they pump the brakes again. And you're going like this in the seat. You're going back and forth and back and forth. And now you're about to throw up. Well, you know what? That makes me throw up. Okay. And what I don't want you to throw up. I want you to make putts. I want you to have distance. So when you start analyzing, hey, what's going on with my putting? Like breaking it all down. What's going on with my putting? Are you unable to start it on the line that you want? Is your speed control off? Is your green reading off? There's a lot of things that go on to that. I got 2 quick things that I want to get to, and then I'm going to get to questions. Gibbsy, what I need you to do is I need you to have an incoming, but not a close-up. Okay? Now, I want you to see this. I'm going to take this string off. What I'm going to do with this putt, we'll go back to that. What I'm going to do with this putt is I'm going to take the putter face. I'm going to open the putter face up. Then I'm going to swing the club outside. So I'm going to go outside. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my worm cam and put my worm cam down the line just like this. See if I can get this. Hold on. Okay. Take that. So I'm going to take this worm cam. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the putter face. I'm going to take the putter face and open it. I'm going to take the path. I'm going to go outside and across. And you are going to see what is a straight putt no longer behave like a straight putt. This putt is actually with a cut stroke. is going to hook. I know. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is take this, put this in like this, putter path out and across. Now watch. I'm sure did you get the incoming on that one, Gibbsy? Okay, great. Now watch what happens. I'm going to kick this ball first, then I'm going to put it back. Now I want you to watch the putter path. So right here, there's the line of my putter. It's not parallel to the line on the golf ball. Okay. The putter is now going to go outside. It's going to cut across. So look at the spin that I put on that ball. That ball is now spinning like a top. The axis of rotation at that point is almost perpendicular to the ground. And it's spinning clockwise. Clockwise. I don't want to mess that up. It's spinning clockwise. Now watch what happens to this ball. It launches up into the air. It's almost like it's literally rolling off towards the toe. It's awesome to see this. Look at this. Look at this. This ball has spun. Now it starts to bounce. And then watch what it does. So now it's got a very, very uncommon. But now what it's doing is it's starting to spin to the left-hand side. So now we go like this. See it right in there? See it break left right there? Look at it. Look at it finish left. It's unbelievable. Look at that. This is a breaking putt. That's not a breaking putt. This is a straight putt. I just did it for 25 minutes before. Okay. So what that means is that you can make putts that are straight break with poor performance, poor stroke performance. Okay. You have to be able to analyze that. That's one of the reasons why you have a difficult time reading greens. And so when you start to say, well, I can't read greens, that's another one of those things where you dissect all this. You got to find out the inhibitor, dissect the inhibitor. Can't read greens. Well, now that means I'm cutting the putt because you're making straight putts, breaking putts. Imagine what that putt would do on a left to right putt. It would take a left to right putt and it would make it straight. It'd take a right to left putt and make it a really big breaker. And you've done this, by the way. I promise you've done this. You've gone out and you played a scramble, and you're all sitting down here and you're looking at this and you're going, okay, this looks like this is right edge. So the first guy gets up with his cut stroke, he hits it right edge, and it breaks a cup and a half. Okay, we got to play a cut and a half. And then the second guy who's got a good putting stroke makes a good stroke, a cup and a half out, and it doesn't move at all. And now you've wasted half of your team, and you're no closer to finding out what's going on. That's what's going on. Because that one guy with that bad stroke has totally got you confused on what you're doing. Now, the third guy stands up there, has no confidence in what's going on. And then the fourth guy, who's typically your best putter, that guy is now like, I don't even know what to do. So what does he do? I'm just going to hit it straight. And sometimes it goes in and sometimes it doesn't. Confusion sets in because of that stroke, because you're taking straight and you're making it hook. Okay? So that's something that you're going to want to pay attention to. Now, the last thing that I want you to do, and this is something that you can do very easy to do. I go down. I don't know whether you could bring me a 5 up and in close here. So what I have here is I've got this little device that I've made. It's very, very simple. It's something you get this little piece right here. It screws into here like this. And basically what you're creating is you're creating a little gate. Okay. Now, if you go down to that down the line view there, Gibbsy, what I do is I'll take the gate and I put the gate 1 foot in front of where I'm going to putt from. I'm going to then stand back over here and I'm going to make sure that that's in line with where I want to go, which it's not. So the easy way to do it is to take an alignment stick. You put the alignment stick down on the ground so that it's straight to where you want to go. And then a foot in front, you put your gate just like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to verify, always verify, trust but verify. So you're in there like this. It's off just a little bit. So I need to go a little bit to the right, which means I got to take this thing and go a little bit to the right. And once I've done that, now I'm pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand here like this. This is also going to help you with alignment, but now you're going to find out how good your face control is. Not very good there. Very good there. Very good there. So you can see what happened was I pulled that first one. I went, my club face was closed. I got to make sure that path is down the line and my club face stays square. So I do that, and all of a sudden it goes through the little gate. Get this gate. Use it indoors. I'm telling you, all this stuff that I have here is all going to help you putt terrifically. Okay? All right, Greg, I've used a lot of time. Time to get some questions.
Okay, this first one from Brad. Michael, in putting, my hands tend to drift back behind the ball at address. Been trying to feel more of a forward press, but I find this leads to more closed faces. Do you have any drills to address both?
Okay, so closed face, this is always a very interesting topic of conversation for me, because there's a difference between a face that's de-lofted and a face that's closed. So closed is it's not square to the target. De-lofted is it's square to the target. It's just facing down to the ground a bit more than facing up to the sky. I don't mind de-lofted. I don't want closed. And so what Brad needs to do, and Brad, what you need to do is you need to let me know whether you're talking de-lofted or if you're talking physically closed to the target. That's paramount. Need to know the answer to that. So I can't answer that question. So we'll take another question and give Brad a chance to get back to me. Are you talking de-lofted or are you talking closed? Let's get another question if you would.
Okay, this one from Michael. Should our eyes be over the ball or slightly inside the ball?
Okay, so Gibbsy, here's what you need to do. You need to take the down the line camera and bring it off of the ground, but I need to be able to see the golf ball and my eye line. You know what I'm talking about? So let's take camera 4, go down the line, camera 4. There you go. Okay. So now I'm here, standing over my putt. Now, here's my eye line. So that ball hit right where the heel of my putter is, just right there. Okay. Now, should our eyes be over the ball? Should they be inside the ball? Yes and yes. What? What that means is that they can be over the ball. I'm fine with that. They can be inside the ball. Fine with that. They can't be, go ahead down the line again for me, Gibbsy. I don't want my eyes on this side of the golf ball. But I'm fine if my eyes are on this side of the golf ball, and I'm fine if my eyes are over the golf ball. I am not a believer that in order for you to make great putts, you have to have your eyes over the golf ball. What I am a believer is that your eyes have to be in the same spot every time, over the golf ball or inside the golf ball, but they have to be one or the other, and they have to be wherever they are, always the same, which means you have to be able to know how to do that. Now, let me show you how to do that. Go back down to that down the line shot. What I like to do is this. When I set up to hit a putt, I measure my distance. That's 1 putter head. There's 2 putter heads. There's 3 putter heads. So at 3 putter heads, my putter, you can see that's out on the toe. So I am basically about a half an inch too far from the ball. So now I move in a half an inch. I go here. Now I measure again. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm in the center of the putter head. So now I know I'm in the right spot. Now, if I take this and I drop this from here, that's going to land just inside the golf ball, which is where the heel of the putter is. And now I know that my distance to the ball is correct. And now I know my stroke is good and I'm going to make the putt. So what I would say to you is that I don't care whether you're over or inside. I just want it to be the same every time. For me, I know I'm basically 2.5 putter heads. I measure 3, but from the impact point, I call that a half a putter head. So I'm 2.5 putter heads, my toes, 2.5 putter heads away from the golf ball. And when I'm 2.5 putter heads away from the golf ball, 1, 2, 3, now I know that I'm going to be in good position. My putter's going to move properly. The face is going to move properly. The ball's going to end up going where I want it to go. Okay? Go ahead.
Okay, this from Matt. When you are looking down, is that string right on the line of your putter? Just to confirm.
It's right underneath the line that's going from face to heel. It's going this way. So it's right underneath this line that way. Yes, it's under there. And that tells me, by the way, that I've got my putter face square. And it also tells me, obviously, after the 2.5, I'm the right distance from the golf ball. So yes, that's what I'm using that yellow line for. But what I'm really also too using that yellow line for is to allow me to trust the path, the stroke, the face of the putter. So when I get in here like this, I can visualize that yellow line. I can see it right here. And now I just write down that line. I actually, again, this is the after image thing. And you all can do this. You all do this, right? You drive. When you're driving, you're thinking about something else. Your brain is creating pictures that are not on the road. They're just not. So you use your after image all the time. You use your mind's eye all the time. And so what you have to do is you have to use it for a positive. And that's why this yellow string is so powerful, because yellow is the most powerful color for after image. So, and I would tell you, even if you don't get this mat, get yourself a yellow string and bring that out to the putting green and set it up. And you will be stunned after you're under there for about 15 minutes. And then you look away, you're going to see this dark green yellow strip, a line that's going down. And it's literally like having a line with you every time you putt. You get set up. Hey, there it is. I see it. Wow. Okay. Down the line. Hey, look at this. I made another. I'm not even thinking about stroke. I'm just thinking about, I'm just going to hit it down the line. So simple, but it requires a lot of effort. And that's where, again, you get into this thing of dissecting the inhibitor. Is the inhibitor an inability to just react to the stroke? Do you have a difficult time, or do you actually stand over this and you're going, well, I got to make sure that I have a straight back, straight through with a perfectly square face? No, you just react to it. At some point, you got to trust your technique. Okay. And the way to do it is get your eye working on that, seeing that yellow line. And then all of a sudden when you see, I just hit it down the line. What did the face do? I don't know. Well, how far did you take it back? I don't know. Okay. Well, good. Nice putt. All right, go ahead.
This one from Alex. Hi, MB. I bought an old school The Putting Arc block of wood. I love the sensation of the putter working on the block of wood. What's the best routine to get the sensation correct?
The best routine to work on getting the sensation of riding the putter on the putting arc. I mean, I hate to say this, it sounds so silly, but the best routine is to just keep doing it every single day. So one of the things that we talk about in this pathway or direction to improving your game for spring is for you to just carve out minutes during the course of a day. So maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, you're standing on that putting arc and you're putting that putter along the arc, and you just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Obviously, being able to stand on a green and making putts, that's going to give you confidence. But what's also going to give you confidence is your ability to move that putter along that arc, which is great. What I can tell you is this. As long as you do something time and time and time again, over and over and over again, you develop the skill. There is no such thing as muscle memory. There's a skill that you develop. And that skill is your ability to move the putter consistently on the path that you desire and control the face. And so when you do that 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, 3 times or 4 times or 5 times a week, now all of a sudden in 3 months, you're not going to have to work on that. And when you think you've got it, like, okay, I got it. Keep doing it. Don't just get it and then I don't need to get on the putting arc at all. Stay on it. So get on it and stay on it. Okay? All right.
Okay, this next one. Different golf courses have greens with different speeds. So what should one do to adjust to the varying putting speeds? Any suggestions?
Okay, yeah. So this is a great one. So Gibbsy, this is one of the drills that I use here with my Let's Do This mat. What I do is I don't putt. Now I'm not putting to a hole. I'm going to putt in between these two things, and I'm going to try to get my ball to stop in between the back edge of the right cup and the wall. Okay? So what I'm doing is I stand here like this and I hit this putt. Okay, so that was a good one. And all I'm doing is getting a feel. Okay, that was a bad one. And then you just keep doing this. Oh, that was a really good one. And you start going, hey, you know what? This, like, I feel like when I hit this, that it's just going this far. And maybe it's front edge of the hole, back edge of the hole, whatever. I agree with you that one of the hard things to do is go from one golf course to the next golf course with varying green speeds. And in fact, you see that on the PGA Tour when players go over to play in the Open Championship. Those green speeds are a lot slower than they're used to. And what ends up happening is it messes with their read and breaks. So a putt that on greens that are running at 13 or 14 with a 1% slope is going to break quite a bit differently than a green that's rolling at like 10. So 10 instead of 14, 1% is an enormous difference in break. And so what you have to do is you got to practice. See, most of you go to the golf course, you don't practice the green. You don't know what the green speeds are. You make assumptions. I don't know why, but you do. And what I would do is I just go out to the green. I try to put a couple of tees behind the hole, and then I just putt to the left or right of the hole, trying to get it to stop between the back edge of the cup and those tees. So there's a good putt. And so now when I go, okay, I got my speed here. And now I just get in here like this. I try to imitate the exact same speed that I had. And what you can see is that ball, it has the speed that I want, and it drops into the hole. That's how you work on that. But you got to make sure that when you play, you allocate 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes, for you to hit some putts. And you don't need to putt to a hole. You need to just discover the speed of the green. Okay? Really interesting question. Go ahead.
Okay, this one from Curious Golfers. If we do this drill outside, should we do flat putts or can there be break? This was from a little while ago. I think it was the drill where you went back, you made the 6 putts and counted the laps.
Yeah. So you can do it on uphill putts, downhill putts, straight putts, flat putts. I don't really care. You just want to have, what you want to do is you want to get to you want to hit putts that you expect to make. You stand up and practice 25 footers, focus on speed. You don't expect to make that putt. If it goes in, great. You hope to 2 putt. You don't want a 3 putt. But when you get to where you're 4, 5, 6 feet away from the hole, you expect to make it. So practice it so that your brain wills it to happen. Like what you're seeing is like, I'm not kidding. I can tell you, I have done a lot of public performance without having an extensive career on the PGA Tour of winning 82 events or 83 events or 15 majors or 18 majors. Never done that. Never played in a major. But I do this. And I do feel like I should make this because you guys want to see me make it. Because if I make it, well, then I'm maybe believable. So there's a pressure that I have. But what I do all the time is I make sure that I remove the pressure in my mind. And all I do is I focus on what I want to focus on. And then I will hit this putt. And it will go into the hole because I will it to be so. And believe me, I can tell you, and I did it just then. I'm standing there going, I just told these people I'm going to make this. I better make this. And then I go, no, you're going to make this. You're going to hit that spot. And that's what I do. And I'm telling you, when you will something to happen, you will do it. Don't be afraid to will it. Don't allow yourself to fall victim to the excuse, well, I haven't practiced. Well, okay, then practice. And don't let yourself stand up there and go, oh man, I'd like to make this. No, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this. But you got to practice those putts. I'm going to make. I expect to make this. I'm going to make this. Make it. Go ahead, Greg.
Okay. This is a unique one. It's from Bridie. Where did you get the giant Santa hat?
So that certainly implies that you would be wanting to buy one for Gregory, and you and I can talk offline about that. Okay.
Yeah, I found she didn't want to ask about my Santa hat.
No, that's because you don't have a Giants logo on it. And of course, she's from Rhode Island. She expects to just go right to the source. We could talk offline. Okay. We'll talk offline.
All right. This one is actually from our winner of the Big Moss putting green.
Awesome. We got a winner. Who's our winner?
Our winner is Justin Jones.
Justin Jones. Congratulations, Justin. We're going to make sure that we send you one of these Let's Do This mats. Make sure that you watch this again, this video again. There's a whole lot of things that come with this mat, and there's a whole lot of things that are going to help you improve. I'm telling you, I've thought about all the stuff that goes on in this, and I promise you, get on this mat. You are going to make a lot of putts. The surface is absolutely pure. I want to show, before we get into Justin's question, Gibbsy, if you could bring this down low again in the down the line view. I want to talk to people about this. Okay, but what I want to do, just keep going down, not in, just keep going so there's not a lot of space back here. Try to get this camera out of the shot. That's as low as it can go? Okay, great. All right, so what I want you to watch here is this. I want you to watch this ball settle. Now, what that means is that when this ball comes to a stop, you're not going to see this thing wobble around. It's not going to all of a sudden be going in a certain direction and then be chucked offline and then fire way right. So when I'm hitting putts, now you can go down the line and extend it out so you can see the ball go into the hole. The reason why I ended up, and I did a lot of research on putting mats because I wanted a putting mat. When I knew I was going to be doing what I'm doing, and I'd struggled with this when I was at the Golf Channel. The putting surface at the Golf Channel, frankly, was not good. And the reason why is because the turf that was being used is a very strong blade, and it started chucking the ball all over the place. So what I did with my research is I just looked at the settle of all these mats. But what you're going to notice is that when I hit this putt, that putt there is it doesn't kind of bounce. It doesn't kind of sift left or drift right or whatever. It's pure. It's true. And that's because the surface itself is so good. The turf is so soft and so consistent, and that's why it rolls at such a great speed. And so what I'm telling you is you're going to love this mat. And again, for all of you that didn't win, you could get 15% off. All you got to do is just go to that link, click on that, whatever mat you want to get at Big Moss, you can get 15% off. There you go. Great job. There you go. So just use the code BREED15 and you can get 15% off any of the mats. And I'm telling you, they're a great gift. They're a great gift to you or somebody that you know that loves the game of golf. Okay. All right. So Greg, I'm sorry I interrupted. Go ahead and tell me the question.
Yeah. And again, that link also is in the description. But Justin wanted to know, do you have any tips for reading the grain on a green? And how do you adjust for an uphill or a downhill putt?
So grain on the green. Let me just see if I can. Okay, Gibbsy. So get a close up. Go back into here. So get that down the line view that you had, the down line view, and then go to the close up one. Hit the 10 again. Okay, good. Now, if I take this mat and I go like this, you see how this right here, this little strip right here is a little bit darker than everything else. I know it's tough to see, but this is lighter and this is lighter and this right here is a little darker. And you can see that. Now, if I go like this, that all of a sudden gets lighter again. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but basically, yeah, that might be a better look. Let's see what you get if I go like this. Yeah, you can see that right there. So you see that little strip that I had? That is me going against the grain. And now the grain, because I did that, the grain's going in an opposite direction. It's dark. And the reason why it's dark is because you're looking into the grain this way. So if you're looking at grass and it looks dark one way and it looks light another, whichever way is the lighter color, that's where the grain is going. We had Lee Trevino on the show on A New Breed of Golf on the radio a little while ago. He said something that was really valuable about grain. He said grain ends up growing west. Grain grows west, and grain typically grows downhill. So if you are looking downhill, it's probably going to be down grain. And if you're looking west, it's probably going to be with the grain. So you're looking to the west, the grain's going to be going that way. But the easiest way for me to do it is to just look at, I just stand one way, I look over here and I look over there. Whichever way it's lighter, I know that's the way the grain's going. Now, here's the other thing. And I know this is going to sound nuts, but I don't really pay much attention to grain. The only time I really pay attention to grain is if I'm playing a golf course where the green speeds are slow and I say sub 10, 9, 8. Now the grass is a little longer. When the grass is a little longer, the grain has a little bit of an effect. So 40, 50 years ago, grain was really important. Nowadays, green speeds at most places are 11 or 12. I don't really pay much attention to grain. And the other thing that I do is that I again, this sounds, I just trust my read. And so when I look at something and I go, oh, okay, this is a right edge putt, I've done it enough. I go, okay, this is a right edge putt. So I hit it on the right edge and goes in the hole. Honestly, that's it's, I don't try to make it too complicated. I try to make it simpler. Okay. And so you want to know how the grain grows? Just look left, and look right and figure those out. And whatever's lighter, that's the grain's growing in that direction. Okay. Okay.
All right. This is an interesting one from Josh.
Did we ever get that other question back again from our first question?
No.
Okay.
Okay. We actually did. In follow-up to my earlier question, I think when moving my hands forward to de-loft, I'm closing the face. I think the issue is the face closes when I try to de-loft.
Okay. All right. So let me just answer that real quickly, because this is one that, and I'll get two different pieces of apparatus. So this is a square that I put blue tape on. Okay. If you go down the line again, close up, what you'll be able to see is that line. There you go. Perfect. So what I like to do is I put a ball on the edge of that. And if you go on face on now, Gibbsy. So, and I would say take a 5 and get a little closer in there if you can. You got it? Okay, good. So now what I do is this. So when I de-loft, I have a little space between the back edge of this ruler. I think it's going to be a little bit easier if I go up here like this. Yeah, just right there is good. I want to be able to, yeah. So what I do is I go like this. I put the putter back here like this. Now, when I de-loft, what I do is I check the gap between the ruler and my putter head. And if I go like this, it goes like that, then I know I'm rolling the shaft when I de-loft. So when I go here and I'm good, oh, that was good. That was good. So that's how I use this here. The other thing that I do is I have this little device, again, another PVC pipe. But what you can see is I got 2 black dots right here. Okay. Pieces of tape. Now what I do is I set that down like this. They have been measured. They are there specifically for this, So what I do is I put the putter in like this. When I go like that, I am actually making sure that the putter face and those 2 black lines are consistent. You can see it with that white line on my putter. It's parallel to the 2 black lines. So I know that I've leaned it. I know that's where I want. And now I go through and I know my putter face is square. So when you're de-lofting, a little contraption like this, all you're going to do is we call this a U-bar because it looks like a U right there. But then what I do is I measure from right down here, this space, all the way up to there, how far that is. I'm just going to say 11 inches. And then I do the same thing over here, 11 inches. I put a line and I take these 2 pieces of black tape. I put them in there like that. So they're the exact same distance. And then when I get in here to putt, I make sure that putter head, toe and heel are when they move through the exact same. And then I boom, right straight through just like that. Okay. That's how I do that. All right. Go ahead to that other question. Sorry.
All right. This one from Josh. Would you ever use the technique of adding loft like this if you're struggling with having a pace that's too firm mid-round?
This is a really interesting question. So Bobby Locke, who was basically Locke, Willie Park, Horton Smith, Billy Casper, those are the individuals of the putting philosophy that I subscribe to. And what Locke believed, believe it or not, was this. Go pull out all the way here, Gibbsy. So what Locke believed was he didn't believe in hitting on the toe or the heel of the putter. Okay? He didn't believe in taking speed out by missing the contact in toe to heel. But he did believe in missing contact high and low on the putter face, more loft or less loft. And so what these individuals would do is if they had a downhill putt, they'd move the ball position forward, keeping the hands in the same spot would add loft to the putter, and that would take some speed out. And then if they were putting uphill, where they felt like they needed a little more chase, now they would play the ball back in the stance, and then he would hit it, and all of a sudden that would go a little bit faster. Now, I'm not saying that's what I do, because I don't, because I believe in my mind. But what I will tell you is that when I go out to putt, if I start around in my first 3 holes, my speed is slow, then I move the ball position back. I seldom, if ever, maybe 1 or 2 times have I felt like my ball position was too back in my stance. We typically move ball positions like drivers with putters. We tend to move them a little bit more forward in the stance. So what I would tell you is this: when you feel like your speed is too fast or too slow, that's just telling you about ball position. So I move ball position back in my stance if my speed is a little bit too slow. I seldom have a situation where my speed is too fast and I'm moving it forward. That's a really interesting question. It's a great one. All right, go ahead, Gregory.
Okay, this one from Jeremy. What are the dimensions of that gate? That little PVC gate you made?
Yeah, this gate right here.
Yep.
So this gate gives you, I don't know if you can go to a 5, and I'll walk to the, so here you go. So what I have it is, you can see that is just like a 1/4 of an inch. It's a fairly generous gate, about a 1/4 of an inch space in between here. And really, because of the way this thing works, there's a little bit of an extended out here that's different than this. I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyway, so what I'm doing is I've got just about a 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, there's just about a, hold on a second. Let me do this for my friends at Titleist. Here you go, just like that. So there you go. It's just about a 1/4 of an inch. It's just enough. But what it does too is that it's a fun little drill. You see Tiger do this all the time. Put this thing in here. You got about a foot. I don't even know if it's lined up properly. And frankly, I'm not going to worry about it. But all I want to do is see if I can just hit it through there. And I hit it through there. And look, I guess I had it lined up properly. I mean, I know you're sitting there and you're going, man, he makes everything. I do make everything. I make everything because I've worked on all this stuff. All these things that I'm showing you are all things I've worked my tail off on to have a good putting stroke. And what I'm telling you is, I'm not selling. I'm telling, get yourself this putting mat. Get yourself these things. If you want to know how to build them, I will tell you how to build them. Just send an email to me. I'll tell you how to build them. They're going to make you better. I promise you. This is this pathway that I'm talking about. This is how you discover the inhibitor. And I'm using putting, but this is available. Like, all this stuff exists in full swings and short games and everything like that. Mind coach. All right, we got time for one more question. Here we go.
All right, I'm going to put these are 2 more product questions together.
Okay.
So do you have a build of material that your gate and all the other aids, and where do you purchase that? And then the second one is, what kind of camera is that? The worm cam seems like it'd be a great thing to ask Santa for.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to take the camera thing first. It's V1. And what you got to do if you want this, what you got to do is you got to go to V1, and it's elaborate, but it's cool. You want to set all this stuff up. It's cool. What you can also do is just download the V1 app and get it to your phone. And when you get it to your phone can become a worm cam, and you can pick it up and you can look at it and you can get all the information that you want. V1 I'm just telling you, I get so many people that say to me, Michael, you just sell stuff. I don't. What I do is I tell you the things that I use because I know they work. I know they're successful. V1 is the best. And they're the best at what they do, not just because their product is great, but because their customer support is the very best. If you have a problem, V1's going to get it right on it and they're going to fix it. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. And I put my name behind that stuff because I use all this stuff because I know how good they are. So the V1 camera is great. Get the app, put it on your phone. You don't need to spend however much that camera costs. You want to get that camera, just send me an email. Send it to us at anewbreedofgolf@michaelbreed.com, and I'll give you all the information. I'll get you hooked up with V1. We can deal with that. Second question is, where do I get all my stuff? And Greg has had the privilege, and I use that word intentionally. He's had the privilege of going to Lowe's and Home Depot with me. And we go to these places and we just walk aisles. How can I use this? How can I use that? How can I use a T-square to help me play better golf? Can I use that for alignment? Yeah. And yeah. Okay. And then what can we do here? Right. There's another contraption that I got that's so elaborate that I built that took me a long time to figure out how to build it that we didn't get a chance to talk about today. But the point is that I'm a PVC junkie, and I'm also an individual who believes that you all can learn how to build these things, and then you can learn how to use these things to help you become a better player, a better putter, a better full swinger, a better short game. All right. Now, I would love to continue to do this, but unfortunately, as many of you know, I got a little knee problem, so I'm going to PT. I got to get out. I got to go to PT, get a little workout. I got to go pick up an MRI, which I've been having a lot of fun with, chasing this thing around. So I got to go do all this stuff. So I have to stop. But we will be here on Friday next, and all the Fridays as we're going forward through this on season, so that you can play better golf in your off season. We're here to help you do that. Any questions that you've got, send those questions over to me at anewbreedofgolf@michaelbreed.com. I want to say special thanks to my elves over here. So if you can pull that up, there's Elf Gibbsy and Elf Greg, two of the best guys. And by the way, Bridie, I will make sure that I reach out to you and let you know where you can get this New York Giants Santa hat. In the meantime, I thank all of you so much. And I also want to say thank you to Pin Golf, to V1, to Big Moss for getting and being a part of what we're doing in this platform. I think this is a really fun platform for me. Get a chance to talk with you guys and discuss what it is that you can do to improve your game and answer the questions that you want. So please, and I don't do it if you don't need to, but don't be afraid to support our partners. Our partners do such a good job, and they really do. They help me help you. And I'm just don't be afraid to support them. Maybe there's a gift for somebody that you can get that may be found in a pinned rangefinder or in a Big Moss mat. Maybe it's for you. Whatever it is, please be comfortable supporting those that are making these types of things available for you to improve your game. But I want to thank you all so much for joining us today and every day over on the SiriusXM platform on A New Breed of Golf over there. I'm Michael Breed. Thanks so much. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern on A New Breed of Golf on SiriusXM. We'll see you then.